The next stitch we're going to cover is actually called a baseball stitch, and it gets its name from the baseball. And this is what they used to stitch it up with. This stitch is usually used to sew leather, like baseballs, rattles. What we want to use this stitch is anywhere where we want two pieces to butt up, the edges to butt up, not to overlap or not to sit like this. We want it so that everything lays flat in the seam. Now, when we do this stitch, this one is done with a single thread and of course a knot again. All seams should be knotted. And it kind of looks like a chicken stitch. Like it reminds me of chicken feet when they're walking. So that's what we want it to look like. When we start, usually you'll start with your knot to the inside because this is a stitch that is sewn outside, so the right side out. So if you don't want your knot showing, you start on the inside. So you bring your needle up in between the two fabrics. And then I generally like to do a little over stitch so that it holds them together and holds them even at the top. Especially if you're working with a rattle or something, you don't want to have your lips sitting like this at the opening. You want them to sit even. Okay, so there's our first one. And then this is a basic just back and forth inside. So we go inside, out, to inside, back to inside, inside, left and right, just inside, back and forth until we get to the length that we want. But it's really important as you're going along, open it up. This is too loose. So what we want to do is we actually pull on our thread and it will tighten it right up so that when I go back later on, it's not going to come apart. And then you just continue until you're done stitching up the length. And then it'll be like this. Now this one's a little bit loose in here, but as we go down here, it's a little bit tighter. Right? So you want to make sure that it's nice and tight. And this will act really good, like I said, when you want your fabrics or your leathers to butt up against one another.